Our gardens are our sanctuaries, peaceful, private, plant-filled corners of this green and pleasant land.
But not everyone has caught the gardening bug. Some of the gardens you're about to see are shocking.
This is so bad.
So monstrous, they're crimes against nature itself.
Don't want to admit that something like this is your own, do you?
It's like a bump site.
It is depressing. I hate coming out.
In a lifetime of gardening, I've never seen gardens so bad. But help is at hand. I've assembled a crack team to help rehabilitate some of the worst gardens in Britain. Garden designer Danny believes he can bring out the gardener in everyone.
Encouraging people to grow into gardeners is just as satisfying to me as seeing their gardens grow.
Can't believe that that's how easy it is.
For Penny, it's all about the power tools.
With these tools in my hand, I can cut down and clear out, or I can rescue and recycle.
Absolutely brilliant.
Everyone has what it takes to look after a garden. And we're on a mission to show you how easy it really is.
Nice one. Look, it's good.
It's time to turn Britain's filthiest gardens
Into fabulous gardens. Wow, look at this.
This means the world to us. Absolutely unbelievable.
It's beautiful. Just can't get over it.
I don't think I've ever seen a garden so beautiful in all my life.
This is Filthy Garden SOS.
This time, a proud old soldier who gave up on a much-loved garden when his wife passed away.
She took a lot of pride in it. She'll be very disappointed in me.
His son wants to act soon to help turn things around.
He's at the point of giving up, and there is a real danger of that happening.
It makes me feel like I've failed.
This carnage garden is out of control.
It looked like a meteorite had dropped in the bottom of the garden.
We've come to the glorious Hampshire coast. Just 10 miles from the waterfront city of Portsmouth is the market town of Fareham. 80-year-old Brian and his son Shane are both proud to have served in the military. But this garden would never pass muster.
When I look out at it and remember what it was like before, it does make me very depressed.
It was a big, wide open space with vegetables. There'd be people in the garden and barbecues.
You should have, what, 20-odd people in here, all having a or sitting by the pond. Beautiful.
Brian's wife Margaret was the driving force behind this garden's glory years.
It was my mum's passion, really, wasn't it? And you just did what you were told.
Yeah.
Apart from the pond, which he did when he was drunk.
Brian's loves were his fish, his birds, and pottering in the greenhouse. For Margaret, it was all about the plants.
She used to enjoy the flower beds, didn't she? And she's into her pots, wasn't she?
We had 90-odd pot plants. I counted them one day.
Ill health slowed Brian down. As he recovered, Margaret became more and more poorly. In the end, she needed a wheelchair to move around.
When the wife was disabled, they put a scaffolding along outside the back of the house. It looks like a factory. It's horrible.
When Margaret died 8 years ago, the garden was completely neglected.
It makes me feel like I've failed, because when the wife was alive, I could cope with it. I'd really like it back to somewhere I could sit and admire and enjoy.
Now, both Brian and Shane are ready to get stuck in.
Being a proud man, he wants to do it himself. He wants to have that self-satisfaction.
I want it back into control so I can enjoy it.
And we've just the team to dig for victory together, Brian.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Dermot.
Do you know, military fatigues are a good idea for this garden. There's a lovely old soldier story here.
Okay, let's have a look.
God, what a state this is. It's a mess. It's an awful, dirty, rotten, filthy mess.
When I first walked into the garden, it didn't look that bad. And then I turned the corner and it hit me. Boom.
With old sheds, a greenhouse, an aviary, a fish pool, and what looks like a bomb crater, this is a horror show.
It looks like a junkyard.
Look at the greenhouse. Look at the state of it. It's just filled to the gunnels with stuff. There was all sorts of knickknacks just strewn all over the place.
This must have been for Margaret, this ramp. Look at all these wires, so dangerous.
But that cable is keeping this going. So these are fish lifted up out of the ground in this pool. It's all unfinished, and I see down below there was a pond dug out, but it's lost its way. It's chaotic, it's carnage, but it just means a third party to come in and create something beautiful. And that's what we're here for. Oh, I think we've been watched.
Oh.
Brian and Shane, come and join us. How did it end up like this, Brian?
To be honest with you, it was my pride and joy. The last 15 years was that horrendous. I got cancer of the esophagus.
So your energy was gone, and the garden ran away with itself.
It also took more out the wife as well.
Stress.
With the stress of it all, and she eventually died, and that sort of brought me down even further.
Did you spend all your time out here?
Yeah, very much so. It was a sort of a joint enterprise with me and the wife.
This has been a big weight on your shoulders then.
Very much so, very much so.
What would you like to see? What would you love to see here?
A picturesque garden that's manageable, like it used to be.
It's also somewhere you can sit in the back garden on a Sunday afternoon having a beer and a barbecue.
It's really important for you to get that space so that you can have family and friends over.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's sorted with low maintenance, then he can enjoy it into his 90s and maybe 100 plus.
In which case, we need reinforcements.
You right, boys? We intend to return this garden to being a land of hope and glory.
I'm really interested, actually, to see what the designers will come up with. It's been like that now for, what, 20 years?
Whatever it is, it's got to be better than what it is at the moment.
First job, as always, the heavy-duty clearance.
I cannot wait to fill this.
Nor can I.
Margaret's ornaments are first out of the garden. Next up is the giant crater, which was once upon a time the original fish pond.
So, what's the story of the pond?
A friend of mine didn't have anywhere to park his digger. So I said, well, park at the end of my house. I've got loads of room. So he did. And I went down the pub, had a few drinks, come back, and it looked very inviting. So I started it up, dug the big hole, hence the pond.
So you were left with a big hole, an angry wife, and the idea of having fish.
And a headache in the morning in more 8 in 1.
Brian did build his pond, which lasted more than 20 years before it sprang a leak. The swimming pool was a handy temporary measure, but I want to give him and the fish a permanent, manageable new home. At the bottom of all this detritus is the perishing pond liner. There's only one place for that.
Well, Brian, this is a big moment. First bit of liner going in. Out with the old.
And in with the new.
Yeah,
How does that feel?
beautiful.
With a team effort, it's not too long before we filled our first 4-ton capacity skip.
Bye!
How does that feel? You've seen the first skip go.
I didn't think I had that much rubbish. I obviously got
Well,
that.
there's another skip to come.
Yeah, I'm a bit excited about it all, particularly seeing the junk that I've collected over the years.
The fact that my dad just admitted a lot of the stuff in the garden was junk. Yeah, I'm over the moon.
But even after 8 years, I realise clearing out a loved one's treasured things isn't easy to do at all. Ryan, we need to talk about these ornaments. An awful lot for that garden.
The wife was into ornaments.
You have to let go of some of these, not all of them. So we'll keep your favourite ones.
Yeah.
We'll keep the ones that you knew that Margaret favoured as well.
The big bear,
Okay.
the geisha girl,
Geisha girl.
the Buddha there, yeah, because that was her favourite.
I love the elephant planter.
And the elephant.
Shane,
You right?
Yeah, I mean, this is a real Aladdin's cave of plants, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. But there's stuff that definitely needs to go.
Yeah.
So that's going to go.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm chuffed, because if he's got a situation where the plants are manageable, then it'll make him happier. If he needs a hand as well, then I'm here to give him a hand.
How does he react to you when you try and give help?
It's quite sensitive to talk to him about that, because he'll get upset about it.
Do you know what makes him upset?
Being out of control, getting old.
So there's a lack of acceptance there, then?
Yeah, denial. In his head, he's a young man still.
It's now lunchtime, and a combination of muscle and machine power has levelled the old pond space. I'm feeling inspired.
This is going to be a terrace area. We don't need really good topsoil there. Nice gathering spot, and we'll create a new backdrop.
And there's plenty of scope to recycle what's already here.
Each one of those pieces he placed. And I think he looks at it now and there's a feeling of regret that he can't do that anymore. But the lovely thing is, all the stone he brought into the garden, we will reuse. It will all have a place.
And there are plants in the greenhouse that might have more to give. There seems to be a lot more light in here, which is fantastic. There are a lot of plants in there. They're a little bit sickly. We can bring some of them back. If there's a way, a plant will find a way, that's for sure.
This is a part of the garden that Brian does look after. And he has some beautiful plants, roses and camellias and bluebells, iris, peonies. I want this to be productive in a different way. I want it to be for fruit and veg. We're right beside the greenhouse. There is a time to move these plants, and it's not now. But as a landscaper, if you're redoing a whole garden, you have to break the rules. And the thing to remember is the plants haven't read the book. So there's every chance, if you treat them nicely, they'll survive.
This is a complex space, and we need to get the new layout right.
We have to develop a design that excites him, that makes him feel comfortable, a garden that he feels he can look after when we're gone.
Yeah.
And it has to be beautiful. Not a lot to ask.
Not a lot to ask, but I think we can do it.
With this build, we create a beautiful garden, but we solve problems and we give somebody a better life. And for an old soldier like Brian, I really want to give him a better life. He's served Queen and Country. He deserves it.
Brian's garden should be a low-maintenance place of beauty. We'll say goodbye to the ramp and install a patio leading onto a carpet of lawn. There'll be a peaceful pond for fish and owner to enjoy. We'll recondition Brian's aviary, revive the greenhouse, and install raised beds to rekindle his passion for planting. And, to top it off, a new terrace will make a great family space. We're going to get Brian partying again. Our old soldier is enjoying being part of the gang.
Well, half the problems have gone in a skip.
Yeah, but I'm still here.
You're
It's even better when you actually participate. You can say, I was there, I helped that.
So we just need one last push. We're going to strip this turf off. Danny, will you hand the boys a spade each?
Absolutely.
Let's get going.
There you go.
A solid first day.
I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow because it's all getting done and I don't mind working as hard as you want.
It's a new chapter in the life of the garden.
Just for the books, don't leave the key in that digger.
Coming up, Brian lets in the light.
I can actually get to the glass to wash it now.
And it's goodbye to one garden eyesore.
Right, it's gone.
We're in Ferrum, in Hampshire, to help old soldier Brian rebuild his garden after years of neglect. When first he was ill, and then his wife Margaret died.
I want it back into control so I can enjoy it.
Son Shane has stepped up for duty too. And in just one day, we filled in a pond crater, rescued a greenhouse, and filled our first skip of many.
I didn't think I had that much rubbish.
Well, there's another skip to come.
We're determined to give this 80-year-old a low-maintenance garden with a new home for its fish, a growing area for fruit and veg, and a much-needed social space to bring his family back into the garden. It's 8:30 a.m. on day 2, and we've a busy build day ahead of us.
Do you know what's lovely about the garden this morning? You can see what you're dealing with. Now, it's simplified. It's going to be a joy. What does it feel like to see your garden cleared?
I love it.
I'm gobsmacked. Look at it. I thought that was at least 3 days' work to strip the garden out. Did it in 8 hours, I think it was.
Time to let Brian and Shane in on our design plans.
We're going to create a brand new pond. That is going to be the central feature, sunk into the ground. Surrounding that will be a carpet of newly laid, lush lawn.
Fantastic.
With your help, we're going to clean this greenhouse. So this is going to be a lovely, clean and sustainable area for you to enjoy.
That sounds lovely.
Here we're going to do an amazing paving area. This is going to be the hub of the party in the sunniest spot of the garden. And at the back here, we're going to do a beautiful curved wooden wall.
I'm really looking forward to seeing my dad with a smile on his face. Down the bottom of the garden there, a pint in his hand.
Sounds really wonderful, but remember the last time he had a pint in his hand? That figure, the chaos.
I think they're really, really excited. Everything's going to flow so much more easy. To bring that happiness back to them, it feels wonderful.
It's very hard to imagine, but it's going to be amazing. So I'm ready to get the sleeves rolled up and dig in again.
Let's crack on then. The first project today is to get the greenhouse back in action. It's important to have the greenhouse clean because it needs to be clear of bacteria. Otherwise, it can affect the plants and we don't want any disease being transmitted from plant to plant. And also, we want as much daylight coming in as possible, because that's what plants benefit from.
I can actually get to the glass to wash it now, whereas before I couldn't even get to it.
It's important to us to create a garden that he can look after, he can really enjoy, but also that he's had a big hand in building. I think he's going to love it.
Now the building starts, my favourite part. We're preparing the foundations for the new terrace area. Brian looks totally focused, but I wonder if working in the garden is stirring old memories. What do you think Margaret would say if she saw you doing what you're doing now?
Why didn't you do it sooner?
Think she'd be proud of you?
Yeah, she would. She would really appreciate this.
Is there anything in the garden that you really don't like?
That metal handrail thing, well, it gives me nightmares because it reminds me of the 5, 6 years that she went through hell.
You could see the sadness in his eyes, and I want to get rid of it for him. I need to get rid of it for him. And for me, there is no time like the present.
While Penny gets wrecking the ramp, I'm taking Brian and Shane to a beautiful retreat by the sea. Just 10 miles away is a plantsman garden, so called because the flora is made up of some rare and unusual species. And it's a good example of what Brian's garden could become.
Now, this is a garden very near where you live that has almost exactly the same conditions, and indeed, like the fig
tree, yeah.
But the great thing about these plants is you don't have to go and buy a new geranium every year in the garden centre. If you grow plants that are happy here, often they will self-seed. We have that forget-me-not there.
Lovely.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Myosotis, it's called. And that self-seeds if it's happy. Do you recognise this?
Yeah, I've got a couple of them.
It's an agave, so it'll be from a desert, won't it? But that obviously is very happy here. You get tequila from this plant, and it's used in all sorts of cosmetics. We want this garden to be as easy as possible for you to maintain. Let's try and rely on species that will feel at home and then decide to take over a little bit. It's a much easier way of gardening and much more in symphony with nature.
You feel like you've walked through a park and all the plants complement each other.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's not an easy job removing this railing. It's old, it's rusty, it needs a lot of work. I'm going to have to use an angle grinder to cut the metal. I'm going to have to use a sledgehammer to smash the reinforced concrete slabs. I really want to get this done before Brian and Shane come back from the trip with Diarmuid. I want it to be such a big surprise for them. Removing the ramp will make room for a lovely patio area.
Done!
It will be a much more inviting way for Brian to step outside into his new garden. Work is now underway on what will be the central feature of our design, Brian's new pond. It's going to be smaller and more manageable than his previous one, but also a calming place for Brian to relax and watch his fish.
But not far away from all the disruption, I have another idea to appeal to Brian's passion for nature and wildlife. I think it'll make sense for his garden, and he's really going to love it.
What we have here is really quite clever. The lawn morphs into just this hint of a wildflower area, and you have those primulas, you have tulips in here and geranium growing along, and that will attract all the pollinators, so the hedgehogs, the birds, the bees.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it fills with life again. So we're going to have a wildflower meadow sown in some of the grass for your garden. So some of it you needn't mow, and just sit there and see what happens.
That'd be nice. Yeah, it really will.
So allow the garden to work for you. It's an escape.
Escape I'm looking forward to.
It really works well, doesn't it? It's relaxing, nice. There's no stress about the garden.
No, not at all.
I'm kind of now overlaying that garden we visited.
That's it.
Into your garden.
We can open up to the public.
Brian and Shane are back from the Plantsman garden, and I'm anxious to know what they think of my surprise.
Hello, dear. Right. At long last.
At long last.
Beautiful. That's one less nightmare.
This is the one thing Mum hated, wasn't it?
Yes, I hated it all. And it's gone. That was the most surprising thing, basically. I didn't expect that. And I was so chuffed. And in some ways, it's definitely put the past to bed.
Coming up, Brian goes rogue with his own design idea.
Dermot will certainly like it.
There's more hard graft, building the raised beds, and it's all hands to the pond.
First of many.
We're halfway through our build to transform Brian's chaotic Hampshire garden, and there's no stopping this 80-year-old.
Being a proud man, he wants to do it himself.
It's even better when you're actually participating.
But it's Penny's demolition of Margaret's wheelchair ramp that's meant Brian can turn a corner.
At long last. And in some ways, it's definitely put the past to bed.
It's early morning. The team is on site, hard at work. But the day's not off to a good start. Dermot sent word he's got to stay in Ireland.
Hello.
Hi, Dermot. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm really sorry that I'm not with you. I have to be at home for a little while. But you know what? I'm with you in spirit.
When will you be back?
You know, Penny, I have to get back there because absolutely nothing will stop me seeing Brian and Shane's faces when you've completed a wonderful job.
Well, we love you and we'll talk to you soon.
This really isn't what we needed.
We're let a man down now. This is a nightmare. We can't let Brian and Shane down. We have to pull this off. So there's no other option.
There is a concern. There's a lot to do. So we have to all put our hands to the station. Everyone dip in and give a helping hand, and let's make it work.
Wow. We've got a lot to do.
We can do this, but we just have to really get on. Just not...
Let's
All
crack
right.
on with it then. Okay.
Yep. The centrepiece of the garden is really coming together. We're using not just the stones from Brian's old pond, but also his existing pump. It will filter and oxygenate water in the new pond. We're using a rubber pond liner. It's more expensive, but it offers a longer lifespan. Remember to get advice on the size of the liner that you need, and also that it needs to be secured properly. Now, we've put a ledge on this pond and lined it with stones to allow planting that the fish can't reach to eat. It will not only look great, but it will attract wildlife too.
After a lot of heavy lifting yesterday, we've managed to persuade Brian to tackle an easier job, and he's come up with his own design idea.
Well, I thought I'd give the shed a military sort of paintwork thing so it blends in with the rest of the garden. I think Dermot will certainly like it.
I think if it's done properly, then Dermot won't see it. You won't recognise it.
No,
you think it's gone.
I think it's a lovely idea. You know, I might use that in one of my future garden designs. Now that the greenhouse is looking shipshape, I want Shane to help build some raised beds outside.
I must admit, I do like growing vegetables. With Danny doing it now, it's going to be so easy, I don't have to bend down all over the place.
So we'll have one big bed there,
Yeah.
and then we'll have a smaller one in front of this camellia here. But
Yep.
leave enough room for your dad to get round.
Yeah.
OK, I think that's
That
going
works,
to be the
doesn't it?
next plan. The plan is to cut these wooden sleepers to the right height we want and use them as solid corners for our new raised beds. We'll attach sheets of corrugated iron for the sides and then fill them with soil.
The terrace at the back of the garden is the design feature that will have the biggest impact on Brian's life. This area is really important for Brian. When he has relatives, when he has friends round, they're going to come here. I want to mimic the circular pond, so I'm adding a curved sleeper wall as a backdrop. I'm going to make a feature out of a midway break in the wall, so for perfect symmetry, measuring up is key. The best tool in the world. Spirit level, you need to make sure everything is plumb, which basically just means straight, not as far. There are lots of jobs to juggle, but the time has come for the trickiest of the day. Moving Brian's prized fish from the swimming pool into the new pond. They've spent the last 5 years in their temporary home, and given their lifespan of at least 25, for many, this will be their third residence in the garden. But this one is definitely the penthouse. Brian, how do you feel about the fishies' new home?
I think they're going to love it.
Good.
They're going to love it.
I think it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
This pond brings this garden to life. Because of the pond, it's going to attract insects, it's going to attract so much wildlife. Not only that, it looks amazing. First, we need to siphon all the good pond water that's existing into the new pond so that when the fish go in, they're going to be really happy. It's their own current ecosystem, so they're not going to get a big shock. Transferring the old water is an essential kickstart for healthy water for the pond life. Chemicals like chlorine in fresh tap water can actually harm fish and wildlife. Since the fish are Brian's passion, we're under his supervision for a change.
First of many.
Can I have a shot of lifting one out?
May.
Ah! This is the first time I've caught a fish. Oh. In you go, in you go.
Oh, got one.
No, you got two.
I've got two. Wow.
Yeah.
Brian, what benefit do you get from the fish?
Well, they relax you. They're just watching them swim around, calms you down.
This might take a while.
Yeah.
Catching the fish was a bit, it was quite funny, really. They knew how to play, let's say, hide and seek. Now that they've moved in, the fish seem to have quickly made themselves at home.
Look how happy they are. Look at them.
And that's the last fish in.
That's great. They're looking really happy, aren't they, Penny?
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
Oh, a gorgeous new home for them.
They seem to have settled in right away. You know, more natural environment, like.
Now the pond is open up for the fish to live their lives and enjoy it.
And me.
Yeah.
Now we can get rid of one of the worst features in the garden and reclaim that space. Oh, first bed going in! Yes, goodbye! That's the third skip full of junk cleared from this garden.
It was an eyesore, to be honest. Look at it, it's just out the back door. It looked horrible, it looked a mess. And actually, it's in the best place at the moment, in the skip.
It's opened it up already, hasn't it?
I know.
That one action has opened up the garden.
We may have been down Dermot's help, But what we have achieved since this morning is nothing short of incredible. Guys,
Yeah.
you've done amazingly today. I think it is time to call it a day.
I reckon it's gone well. However, I think we've got a big challenge in front of us for one day.
We certainly do.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's another day, and we'll get cracking with it, and we will get this garden done.
That's
Without
great.
a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cheers, that.
See you in the
Cheers.
morning.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Coming up, we go all out on the finishing touches.
The effect is going to be amazing.
Make good on our wildflower promise. The bees and butterflies absolutely love it.
And together, we find out what Brian and Shane make of the transformed garden.
Coming out here, I think I'm growing about 10 inches already.
You've actually changed someone's life here.
That's right.
On the south coast in Fareham, we're transforming a chaotic, cluttered and neglected garden for a proud old soldier. It looked like a meteorite had dropped in the bottom of the garden. After losing his wife Margaret, Brian lost his love for the garden too, and for son Shane, help couldn't come soon enough.
He's at the point of giving up, and there is a real danger of that happening.
But since embracing the team's design plans, Brian and Shane have worked like Trojans.
I can actually get to the glass to wash it now.
To help create a garden Brian can now manage alone.
It's the final day of the build, and it starts with a video message from Diarmuid.
I know you're giving it everything you have. The good news is I'm heading your way now.
Aw, that's so good, he's on his way. But with Diarmuid still absent, we feel under a lot of pressure to give Brian the garden the three of us wanted for him. Everyone is stepping up. There are still plenty of jobs to finish off, and a few big ones to start. I am feeling so ecstatic at the thought of Brian and Shane walking out and seeing the result of the new garden.
Although it has to be finished by this evening, we won't reveal the garden to them until first thing tomorrow, when Diarmuid's back with us.
I'm very nervous, to be honest with you, because I know that we've got to do two reveals, really. One to Diarmuid and one to Brian.
With no time to waste, everyone's got a job to do.
I never miss a chance to upcycle, and these old pallets will make a great planter.
Oh, I just love a sledgehammer, eh?
4 sides and a base. Job done.
There we go. I'm actually really pleased with that. It'll look great planted up.
To make Brian's garden look extra special, I'm not out of tricks yet, and my next one is pretty hot if I do say so myself, but it's one for the professionals. The semicircle sleeper wall is now ready for burnishing.
Yeah.
We are borrowing from the 18th century Japanese practice, shu sugiban, where cedar wood was charred to weatherproof homes. It also made the wood resistant to insects, fungus, rot, and even fire. I think this is looking great, but I'm not finished yet.
Meanwhile, Shane and I finish the raised beds by attaching corrugated iron to the sleeper posts prepared earlier.
It's looking good. So really, now we need to do is fill it with soil.
I'm going to go around with the hose after just to make sure they don't get set alight, but the effect is going to be amazing.
Basically, I'm just taking back some of that burnish, and you can really see how beautiful the grain pops out now.
Now the raised beds are ready, I want to get Brian's veg off to a good start by planting some runner beans I found in his greenhouse. All I need to do, really, is put 3 canes in groups, like I'm building a teepee, put 1 runner bean against 1 cane, and they will climb up above. It's as easy as that. Brian loves his canaries, and this garden wouldn't be complete without giving their home a makeover.
So I'm going to put some of this wriggly tin on the roof, And what's good about that, it's going to match the raised bed.
With the big reveal fast approaching, it's time to give our military pair their marching orders.
Brian and Shane, you've worked so hard, you really have.
By this time tomorrow, you will have a brand new garden. You need to make sure though, Brian, you need to close all your curtains.
I won't peek at all.
There's still a lot to do, and that includes giving Brian the wildflower area we promised.
This is wild meadow turf. The bees and butterflies absolutely love it. Basically, it's just like laying carpet. Very, very easy to do.
A quick rain shower dampens the garden, but nothing of our spirits as we push on to the finish. I'm giving Margaret's much loved ornaments pride of place so that her presence will always be here.
Stable, yeah?
And to complete Brian's new garden, it's time to get planting. For the terrace, there are drought-friendly plants and sun-loving herbs like silver thyme and lavender, which will smell glorious. Oxeye daisies bring colour to the patio.
I think Diarmuid's going to be so happy.
I think he's going to be thrilled.
After a frenzied final push, at last, this garden transformation is complete.
I've made it back in time, and I can't wait to be the first to take a sneaky peek.
What do you think?
I think Brian is going to be absolutely delighted. I think you've done a great job.
Thank you.
One of the funniest things is the camouflage shed. It's absolutely brilliant. It's inspired. Danny and Penny were absolutely amazing when I wasn't here. You know, I feel bad missing part of this, but look what they've produced.
This garden is ready for Brian and Shane. Only a few days ago, Brian's garden was a disaster zone, overflowing with more than a decade's worth of junk. It was so unmanageable, Brian admits he became a bit of a recluse.
I'd be very embarrassed if anyone turned up to visit and they want to come out here.
But now it's a picture postcard of tranquility. Where once sat an ugly wheelchair ramp, there's now a new patio from where Brian is greeted by a colourful wildflower meadow. Stepping stones lead him to a beautiful new pond, a healthier home for his fish. The greenhouse has been reborn with grapevines and plants loving the new light. And raised beds within easy reach make growing a pleasure. The aviary has been given that much needed TLC, and a fantastic new terrace area makes an ideal gathering spot for family and friends. But above all, the garden is easy for Brian to manage, and he can be happy that he's done his wife's memory proud.
Wow.
Meet your new garden.
That's great. Look at that. This is phenomenal.
It looks lovely.
Me and my dad, we're emotional people. We hold it in, so you don't see expression, really. Mum would have been crying.
It feels relaxing.
It's got a character now. It's got
beautiful.
It's got life again. And the Buddha, look, the Buddha down the front there from Mum.
She'd love it, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
So what do you think of this area here?
Well, I think it's fantastic because it's so handy, isn't it?
I bet you can't wait to get out here, can you? And,
no.
Start
in the sun.
Start doing stuff.
It's going to be good. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
You'll notice as you walk around that I've picked Margaret and yourself's favourite statues.
The difference between what was here and now is amazing.
Is it what you would have hoped for?
No, it's more.
Oh.
It's more.
Yeah.
I feel like a different person.
Yeah.
I'm actually now thrilled to be out in the garden rather than ashamed.
You might not realise this, but you've actually changed someone's life here. It's
I can back that.
Sorry.
How do you mean life will be changed?
Well, he's going to be happy now. Walk out the back garden and he'll have a smile on his face.
And
I've been quite miserable. Coming out here, I think I'm growing about 10 inches already. You know what I mean? It's fantastic.
Seeing Shane get emotional was really, it really touched me. I actually had to turn around because I had a tear in my eye.
You could see how much it meant to him as well as to his dad, Brian.
would you like to show the rest of your family, Brian?
Definitely. It would be my pleasure, believe me.
Brian's daughter Michelle and her husband John are desperate to have a look around.
It's amazing. You got your pond back.
Yeah. A bit more organised than mine.
Yeah. It's really nice. I'm speechless, actually.
I'm over the moon. He's finally got a garden. Not only a garden, but he's got a lifestyle now that he can enjoy.
I could never live long enough to do this. No one could. It's amazing.
I think it's absolutely beautiful. Oh, Mum, she would have loved this garden. She would have hated the way it was before. But yeah, she would absolutely love this.
Guys, we met a man who lost his way in the garden. We've changed that around, and now he's fallen back in love with gardening.
It was an amazing story to be part of.
And how lucky are we to be able to create a beautiful space for such lovely people.
Yeah. I know.
Makes it all worthwhile.
It really is a picture, isn't it? I'm going to have a lot of pleasure out of that. A lot of pleasure.
Brian, we're handing your new garden over to you. It's time to say goodbye.
We hope you find peace, tranquility, and community in the place that you love.
I feel sure I will. Can't go wrong.
I love a happy ending, and this has certainly been one.
Brian, he reconnected with his garden without a shadow of a doubt.
I really believe this time a garden will change somebody's life, and that's an amazing thing to be part of.
Yeah, I can spend most of my life out here, to be honest. You know, it's, well, look at it. How can you not?
Since we handed over his garden, Brian and his dog Pepper have been enjoying it every day. There's been several barbecues already. Shane says the garden is now the first thing that Brian likes to show his visitors.